Today is not like other days. This is the day heaven has marked with fire and silence. This is the day the scroll was opened in your name. Archangel Michael stands near. His wings stir the air around you, though you do not see them. His sword gleams not with war, but with revelation. He has been sent not to fight, but to reveal. You awoke today with a heaviness in your chest that you could not explain. The ticking of the clock felt louder. The shadows in your room lingered longer. Not because of fear, but because something sacred is approaching. There is a blessing, but not the kind wrapped in comfort. Not the kind that sings softly into your life. No, this one arrives hidden, veiled, disguised as disruption. You are being prepared, but not in ways that feel like preparation. You are being moved, but not in ways that look like movement. Heaven is orchestrating divine contradiction to bring you to divine truth. A name was spoken in the early hours of this morning. Your name, not in gossip, not in complaint, but in the language of angels, spoken in the secret tongue that summons transformation. And yet, you are not prepared, because the blessing you prayed for is not arriving how you imagined. It comes through someone you mistrust, through a door you closed long ago, through a moment you thought was meaningless. Archangel Michael speaks now. Child of light, you have cried for breakthrough, but you asked that it come without discomfort. You wanted the chains broken, but not the shaking. You desired the door opened, but not the storm that swings it wide. So understand this. The blessing is not delayed. It is disguised. It is walking toward you wearing the robe of confusion. It is knocking with the hand of interruption. It is arriving through someone whose voice you've stopped hearing. Today, you will feel something shift. A conversation, a missed call, an email, a sudden memory. Pay attention, because this moment will not shout. It will whisper. It will tremble. It will hover at the edge of your awareness, waiting for your spirit to notice what your mind dismisses. The hidden blessing is not a thing. It is a turning, a pivot in your spirit, a crack in the wall you built to survive, a sudden warmth when you expected cold. But remember this, heaven is not careless. The timing is surgical. The alignment is prophetic. You have asked for what you are not ready to receive. And yet, God sends it anyway, because what you think you need is less urgent than what He knows you must become. You do not yet see it, but the divine has already crossed the threshold of your life. It stepped in this morning as you stirred beneath your blankets, eyes still closed, unaware that eternity was leaning over you, not to wake your body, but to stir your destiny. There is something sacred about the unseen, and today, the unseen holds your name like a secret too holy to say aloud. The angels do not speak of what is coming. They move instead. They align. They draw swords of light not for battle, but for the cutting away of illusion. Archangel Michael watches. His gaze pierces timelines. He sees the regret that still follows you, like a scent you can't scrub from your skin. He sees how you smile when you are breaking. He knows the moments you say, "I'm fine," when your soul is actually whispering, "I don't know who I am anymore." And yet, He is not here to pity you. He is here to announce you, because the version of you that prayed for change is not the one who will receive it. That version was necessary. That version was beautiful. But that version was temporary. Today's blessing is not an answer. It is an invitation. You will be misunderstood. That is part of the path. You will feel like you're going backwards, toward old jobs, old voices, old wounds. But this is not regression. This is reentry, not into pain, but into prophecy. Before the blessing becomes visible, it must pass through your misunderstanding. Says Archangel Michael. It will look like disappointment. It will feel like rejection. It may even sound like silence. But do not be deceived, for there are two types of silence. One that is empty and one that is full. Today's silence is full. It is echoing with the quiet roar of angels adjusting what you cannot yet comprehend. Do you remember what you said in the stillness? The vow you made in secret when no one was watching? God, if you'll just show me a sign, any sign, I'll follow. That vow was heard. That vow shifted the atmosphere. You are living in the reply to a prayer you forgot you prayed. And yet, your mind is looking for the familiar. It wants the blessing to come labeled, to come warm, to come with clear instructions. But spiritual blessings do not come wrapped in human logic. They come in disguise, in the form of a challenge, a delay, a detour, an ending you didn't approve. Because blessings that transform us must first confuse us. I must undo the scaffolding of false expectations. Michael speaks now, his voice echoing inside the chambers of your spirit. I must remove what you used to build your survival, so you can rise into your true design. Yes, something will feel like it's being taken from you. But what is being taken is not yours. It was never yours. It was a temporary comfort, a borrowed identity, a small space you learned to live in out of fear that nothing greater would come. But today, April 11th, marks the expiration of that fear. A divine eviction notice has been stamped on everything that kept you small. That door that slammed shut yesterday, it was meant to close. That person who stopped replying, they were meant to fall silent. That opportunity that slipped through your fingers, it was never supposed to stay. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. Heaven is shifting the land beneath your feet, so that when the hidden blessing arrives, you will not only receive it, you will recognize it. Because what good is a divine gift if it arrives at a time when you can't yet carry it? If it reaches your hands, but your soul is still too tired to hold it? So, this in-between moment, this not yet but so close feeling, this strange sense of something is about to happen. It's not your imagination. It's alignment. The old energy that wrapped around your decisions like a fog. It's being burned off by divine fire. The timelines that kept pulling you into cycles, they are unraveling. The spirit of delay that lingered around your household, it is now being rebuked by the voice of Archangel Michael himself. The blessing is not late, he declares. It is only arriving in the right form. A form your old self would have rejected. You once asked God, why does it have to hurt before it heals? And heaven answers now, because without the hurt, you would never let go of what's wounding you. Because without the ache, you would keep choosing what is shrinking you. Because pain is not punishment, it is permission to awaken. And now, beloved listener of the divine, look again. That call you missed earlier? It matters. That person who suddenly came to mind, they carry something you need. That dream that startled you awake at dawn? It is not random. It is a divine announcement. Even now, your body may feel strange, heavier, lighter, buzzing. Still, that's not anxiety. That's not fatigue. That is your spirit catching up with your future. This is the moment just before the turning, the hour before the revelation, the hush before the holy. And it matters how you respond, because the blessing will not force its way into your hands. It will wait. It will linger at the edge of your obedience. It will hover at the intersection of faith and confusion. You must not turn away. You must not label today as just another day. You must not numb yourself with distraction, because this is not normal. This is prophetic positioning. Everything has been leading to this threshold. Every heartbreak, every delay, every moment of near giving up, all of it was setting the stage for this precise alignment. You must understand, no sacred thing arrives untouched by fire. Even blessings must pass through the furnace before they are entrusted to your hands. What is coming to you has not been cheaply made. It is not a surface-level gift. It is not fleeting. It is a deep and consecrated thing, shaped in the high places, spoken over in secret rooms of glory, whispered between angels who do not lie. But before it rests in your life, you must be made ready to carry it. And so, the preparation intensifies. You may have thought your season of breaking was complete, that you had survived the worst. But no, this breaking is not punishment. This is the sacred cracking open of everything within you that still clings to the lesser. The divine does not want to hurt you. The divine wants to heal you completely. But complete healing requires full exposure. Every hidden wound, every false agreement, every silent resentment that you've wrapped in politeness, Every tiny betrayal that you smiled through. Now they must rise. Now they must surface. Because the blessing that is coming cannot be poured into a fractured vessel. The oil of heaven cannot flow through what is leaking silently. So yes, there may be tears today. There may be aching in places you forgot existed. There may be questions that return like ghosts to your memory. But hear this clearly. You are not being haunted. You are being healed. Archangel Michael speaks again. His voice is thunder and wind. But when it touches your soul, it becomes stillness. I am removing the chains you have mistaken for identity. He says, you thought it was part of your personality to overgive. You thought it was just your way to stay quiet. You thought it was humble to accept less than you deserve. But that was not humility. It was spiritual exhaustion. And I will no longer let you live inside survival when you were built for sovereignty. You must understand, this blessing that walks toward you does not want the version of you that agrees with being overlooked. It wants the version of you that remembers who you are. There is an awakening happening, and it is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is subtle, a divine inner trembling, like light slipping into the cracks of your self-forgetting. You are waking up, and you are remembering that you were made with intention, that you carry royal lineage in your breath, that nothing about your journey has been wasted. Even the moments you hated, even the silence, even the delays, even the betrayal, all of it was seen. All of it was recorded. The angels do not take notes the way man does. They do not write down your accomplishments. They write down your surrender. They record the nights you chose love instead of revenge. They honor the moments you prayed for your enemies through clenched teeth. They write down the tears you hid, because even your silent suffering was a form of intercession. And that is why today, a blessing comes that your mind cannot yet understand. It is the result of seeds you forgot you planted. It is the fruit of intercessions you didn't know you were making. It is the reward for the sacrifices no one saw. But do not mistake reward for relief. For this gift, this sacred hidden blessing, does not come to pacify. It comes to activate. You may feel overwhelmed, not because it is too much, but because it is finally here. And part of you wonders if you are still allowed to hope, if it's still safe to believe in good things, if joy is something you can trust again. Yes, it is. Because this time, it's not a trick. This time, it's not a mirage. This time, it's not temporary affection wearing the mask of love. This is not the false start you've come to expect. This is the real thing. But again, I say, you are not yet prepared to understand what it truly means. Because what you think it is only the surface. And beneath it, beneath the kind gesture, beneath the open door, beneath the return of what was lost, is a deeper instruction, a holy directive, a divine upgrade that will ask more of you than you have ever been asked before. This blessing is not just about what you'll receive. It is about who you must become to carry it. Will you rise into the version of yourself that can walk with grace through new abundance without becoming prideful? Will you trust again, not because it's safe, but because your heart has been purified? Many are given gifts, Michael says, but few are entrusted with assignments. Today's blessing is not a gift alone. It is an assignment, and with it comes responsibility, not burden, but holy weight, not pressure, but purpose. It will call you to higher accountability, to deeper integrity, to radical compassion, to love even when it's not returned. Because what you receive today, it's not just for you. It's for those you will carry with you, those who will be healed by your testimony, those who are watching your rise, because it will give them permission to rise too. So, beloved, this is not just a breakthrough. It is a birthing, and you are in labor now, not of the body, but of the soul. Something eternal is crowning. Something ancient is stirring, and it cannot be stopped. It cannot be delayed, because heaven has already declared, now is the time. Look around you. Though the room may seem ordinary, though the street outside may appear unchanged, though the people around you move about unaware, know this: the realm of heaven is not still. Something is rearranging in the spirit. Chairs are being pulled from invisible tables. Scrolls are being read by firelight. Trumpets are being lifted but not yet blown. Because today is a holy delay, before a sudden announcement. And the sound you'll hear will not come with warning. It will not enter softly. It will be like the moment lightning kisses the ground, and the air splits with clarity. But before that, there is the rearranging. This rearranging may feel like confusion. It may feel like sudden loss or unexpected stillness. Like something is missing. Like something is wrong. But child of heaven, what you are experiencing is not chaos. It is divine editing. God is removing what cannot remain. People, patterns, paths, not to punish you, but to prepare the atmosphere for the arrival of what is meant. Because the blessing cannot land on clutter. It cannot descend upon divided hearts, uncleared altars, or double-minded decisions. And so, everything is being touched now. Every corner of your life. The finances you've avoided looking at. The relationship you're afraid to walk away from. The hidden resentment behind your politeness. The belief that good things always leave. Michael has drawn his sword, not against you, but for you. And with it, he is cutting ties to false timelines. Snipping invisible cords that keep pulling you back into old versions of yourself. He is sealing the portals where the enemy gained legal access through your wounds. You gave up certain things, but not all, he whispers. Now I come to ask for the rest. The final layer. The last idol. The secret fallback plan. The mental back door you kept in case this spiritual thing didn't work. All of it must be surrendered now. Because this blessing cannot come where doubt is still king. There is a weight you are not meant to carry. And yet, you've made it your home. You've mistaken endurance for identity. You've called it strength when it was really survival. But that's not what's required of you anymore. Now you are being called to walk light. To walk free. To walk as someone who trusts without evidence. And loves without fear of lack. Yes, today's blessing is arriving. But it's not the blessing alone that heaven is watching. It's your reception of it. Will you recognize it when it comes in unfamiliar wrapping? When it doesn't look like the dream? When it comes through a person you didn't expect? Or when it lands in your lap wrapped in discomfort? Because every holy thing is first uncomfortable. When Moses met the burning bush, he trembled. When Mary was told she'd carry the Messiah, she was afraid. When Saul met the blinding light, he fell to the ground. Heavenly assignments don't flatter, they transform. And transformation always begins with trembling. So yes, this may feel like too much, too fast, too uncertain. But hear me, the path has already been cleared. What you feel as resistance is simply the echo of who you used to be. It is the friction of your soul shedding old instructions. You're not being blocked. You're being shaped. The moment of divine transfer is delicate, Michael warns. If you grab too soon, you'll wound it. If you wait too long, you'll miss it. So I am standing beside you, guiding your hand, commanding the wind, adjusting the heavens so you will not fail. And there is something else you must know. Someone is watching you. Not just angels, not just heaven, but someone who will one day rise. Because you chose to. There is someone connected to your yes. Someone who doesn't yet know their purpose. But they will find it. Because they saw you walk into yours. You are not just receiving a blessing today. You are activating a legacy. And that legacy is not measured in money. Not counted in followers. Not held in applause. It is measured in the invisible shifts of others. Who awaken because you finally believed. There will be a moment today. A pause. A strange delay. An encounter that feels like déjà vu. That is the moment. That is the doorway. The crack in the timeline where destiny slips through. Do not miss it. Speak when the spirit nudges. Wait when your flesh wants to rush. Release when fear demands control. Bless what you don't yet understand. Because the hidden blessing arrives not as a thing, but as a confirmation of who you've become. And beloved, you are no longer who you were last year, last month, or even yesterday. You've been changing. In silence. In private. In groaning. In glory. And now heaven says, it is time to give you what has already been written for you. But let me be honest. What is written cannot be half-lived. It is not a casual script. It is not a background part. It is a main role in a divine unfolding. You are not a visitor in this life. You are a vessel, and vessels must be emptied of the old before they carry the oil of heaven. So today, as this blessing arrives, release, trust, stretch, expand, because what is coming is not just for comfort, it is for commissioning. To carry what is sacred, you must be willing to let go of what is safe. This is the part few talk about. This is the part where many turn away, because the moment just before the blessing is not filled with applause. It is filled with holy disruption. The hidden blessing does not enter through open gates of comfort. It arrives through locked doors that are suddenly blown wide. It steps through rooms you try to seal off. It walks through memories you swore you buried. Because what you did not know is that the blessing had to reach the part of you still wounded, not the part of you pretending to be healed. Heaven is not concerned with your mask. Heaven is interested in your alignment. And so, before the gift touches your life, the Spirit must touch the parts of you that still tremble at the thought of joy, the parts that wonder, what if it leaves again? What if I'm not enough to hold it? What if it's taken before I taste it? But Archangel Michael is here now, his armor aglow, not with wrath, but with confirmation. This time is different. He says, because this time, you are different. This time, you will not sabotage what is sent. This time, you will not question your worth. This time, you will not fumble divine timing. Because of old narratives whispered by old pain. You see, the hidden blessing is not hidden to be cruel. It is hidden to be protected, because if it had come earlier, you might have clutched it with desperation, or offered it to someone who never valued it. Heaven delayed, not to punish you, but to preserve it, to shield it from unprepared hands, to hold it in sacred suspension until your soul matured into readiness. And now, the time is ripe. But hear this warning with love. A hidden blessing that is revealed prematurely becomes a burden instead of a breakthrough. And so, heaven made you wait. Heaven made you weep. Heaven allowed you to reach a point where you could no longer trust in your plans, your wisdom, your connections, because it was only then that your spirit could receive what your ego would have rejected. And yes, this will change everything. This will shift relationships. It will stir opposition. It will make some uncomfortable. Because every time light enters a room, shadows scatter. There are people who were only connected to your pain. People who loved the version of you that stayed small. People who were only comfortable with your chaos. Because your chaos made them feel better about their own. But the blessing coming today will lift you out of the vibration of survival. And when it does, you will no longer resonate with those who refuse to grow. And that is part of the cost. Because this kind of blessing does not let you keep everything. It requires cleansing. It demands elevation. And elevation always comes with separation. Do not be afraid. Because what looks like loss is actually divine subtraction, removing what could not sustain where you're going. This blessing will test your discernment. Not every open door is for you now. Not every opportunity is in alignment. Some things will glitter like gold, but they are fool's offerings meant to distract. And Michael is stationed to shield you from the imitation, while guiding you into the genuine. You must walk with spiritual precision. He warns, the blessing is not random. It is targeted. It is exact. It is sent with coordinates only your healed self can follow. And so, you must pause before reacting. You must listen before speaking. You must fast from doubt. You must rest from proving yourself. Because the moment the blessing enters, the enemy will attempt to distort your perception of it. He will whisper, it's too good to be true. It won't last. You didn't earn this. You're not ready. But heaven is louder today, and the voice of the throne says, you were born for this. You were prepared in fire. You've been faithful with little. Now comes more. Yet still, you will have a choice. Because even divine blessings can be declined. The question isn't, will God give it? The question is, will you receive it and walk in it boldly? Because it will require you to move, to speak when fear wants you silent, to stand when insecurity tells you to shrink, to let go of fallback plans, backup relationships, and every what if you've kept in your pocket just in case faith failed you. But faith has not failed you. Faith has brought you here. And now, on this day marked by divine ink, you are standing at the edge of the delivery, not just of a blessing, but of an entire new blueprint for your life, one that was locked until your spirit matured enough to read the sacred instructions without altering them. So today, as the blessing nears your hands, do not grab, do not cling, receive, with awe, with reverence, with clarity, with trust, and know this: what is arriving today will echo through generations. Your obedience now is unlocking doors in the future, for people you'll never meet, for prayers you'll never hear, for battles you'll never have to fight. Because your blessing today ends something ancient. It severs a cycle. It heals a bloodline. It speaks to your future children in a language only your surrender could create. Yes, it is that deep. Yes, it is that holy. And it is here, where silence becomes sound, where time bends in reverence to what heaven is about to do. Right now. Yes, even as your eyes read these words, something is being signed above you. A spiritual decree, a celestial endorsement. The blessing has not just been approved. It has been sealed with fire. A fire that speaks, but does not destroy. A fire that purifies, but does not punish. A fire that marks you, without scarring you. You are not being visited. You are being commissioned. Because a hidden blessing is never just a gift. It is a signal that your season has turned. A sign that you are no longer hidden in pain, but now hidden in purpose. No longer delayed by fear, but now disguised in divine power. Today, April 11th, is the closing of one scroll and the opening of another. A hand has turned the page in your book, and the angels who stood guard over your waiting season are now stepping aside to make way for the ones who carry your divine release. You have cried enough. You have questioned enough. You have wrestled in the dark long enough. Now is the hour of light, says Michael. Not the soft light of comfort, but the piercing light of clarity. Not the gentle glow of wishful thinking, but the blinding brilliance of divine truth. And here is that truth. You are chosen, not in theory, not in metaphor, not in the abstract. Chosen by name, by fire, by frequency. Do you know what that means? It means your breath carries assignments. It means your voice activates divine things. It means your very presence in a room alters the spiritual atmosphere of that room. Because you are not normal. You are not common. You are not optional. You are ordained. And that is what this blessing is really about. It is not about comfort, though comfort may come. It is not about wealth, though provision will follow. It is not even about healing, though healing is already flowing. It is about authority. Today, you are being crowned, not with gold, but with glory, not with status, but with stewardship. There is an anointing falling on you now that will not lift. It is permanent. It is inherited through your surrender, not earned, but unlocked. Because surrender is the key that opens locked rooms in heaven. And you, beloved, you have surrendered, even when no one saw, even when you weren't sure it counted, even when your prayers came out cracked and unfinished. Heaven counted every word. Heaven measured every ache. Heaven archived every tear as intercession. And now the floodgates open. But they do not bring chaos. They bring divine flow. Things will begin to align that once fought against you. You will walk into rooms and feel things shift. Not because you demanded, but because you arrived. Because you carry something now. A mantle that cannot be removed. And yes, some will be intimidated. Some will misunderstand. Some will fall away. But others will awaken. Others will draw near. Others will remember who they are. Because they see you rising without apology. Do not shrink. Do not explain away your blessing, just to make others comfortable. You were not made for comfort. You were made for consequence. Holy consequence. The kind that ripples through generations. The kind that silences the curses of your bloodline. The kind that makes hell tremble. Every time you whisper, Yes, Lord. So now, receive. Let the blessing enter. Let it take up space. Let it stretch the walls of your spirit until you become a cathedral where heaven loves to dwell. Let it shift your language, your pace, your posture. Let it remake your calendar, your priorities, your very heartbeat. Because once the blessing is revealed, your life will no longer be your own. You will walk as one marked, protected, empowered, set apart. This is not the end of your waiting. It is the beginning of your witnessing. And the world will not understand. But you will. Because you remember the dark. You remember the ache. You remember the wilderness. And now you'll remember the arrival. Today, April 11th, was the day you stepped into promise. But more than that, it was the day you remembered that heaven always keeps its word.